Hello, welcome back to my channel. You'll have to forgive me, I am sick. I am breaking out. I haven't really slept much because of work the last few days, but the Sephora sale starts this week, so we need to talk about some recommendations. So let's jump into it. If you've watched my channel before, you know I'm not huge into primers, but if I'm gonna prime my face with anything from Sephora, it's gonna be this Rhode Glazing Mist. And now that Rhode is in Sephora, it's really easy to get it, and you're gonna get it for 20% off if you're Rouge, 15 if you're VIB, and then 10% if you're Insider. I have acne prone skin, so I don't typically find myself using a lot of Rhode's other products, but I found that this one does not irritate my acne or cause me to break out. Okay, for foundation, yeah, I'm gonna do foundation first instead of eyes. No, actually, let's do eyes first. And the reason I'm gonna do eyes first is because I want to use my Ethereal Eyes Nature palette from Makeup by Mario. Now, this is a palette that I absolutely recommend. A lot of people online are having a lot of discourse and things around the shimmers and, whether it's worth the money and if it's a good value and things like that. And here's some of the shimmers swatched. The thing about the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes palettes is that they're not intended to be this crazy glitter effect. They are supposed to be like, it's in the name, ethereal, right? So, like, they're supposed to be softer. They're supposed to be quieter. They're supposed to have just kind of like that little touch of glitter. And especially on camera and in lights like these, you're not going to see the effect as much as you would out in like traditional sunlight. But this formula is super, super soft. And so you will get fallout. So when you're using this palette, I do recommend doing your eyes first. To prep my eyes, I will go in with the Rare Beauty. I thought they were discontinuing this, but it looks like you can still get it. This is probably my favorite eye primer to use. It's really good. I don't know. Another thing that I absolutely recommend getting during the Sephora sale is any of the Sephora brushes because they're actually a really good quality and they will be 30% off for everybody. So it's honestly amazing. Eye primer is another one of those things that you don't necessarily need, but it will help with the longevity of your eyeshadow. So it's an awesome step to do if you have the time, but if you don't, it's not absolutely necessary. Okay, eyes are primed, so I'm gonna let that sit and get tacky for a second, and I'm gonna go in with my eyebrow gel. I talk about this pretty much every video. It's like one of the only eyebrow gels that I use. It's the Rare Beauty eyebrow gel. I really don't think that it has like a specific name necessarily. This is just my favorite eyebrow gel that exists on the market. It is $19, so it is more expensive than, you know, a drugstore eyebrow gel. But the thing is I only shop cruelty-free makeup brands. That's a personal preference. And so a lot of the amazing drugstore eyebrow products aren't cruelty free. So for me personally, I lean towards more high end eyebrow products just because they are typically cruelty free. This one is my favorite. The longevity is incredible and it is so comfortable. I feel like it holds my eyebrows up all day. If you want something that's a little bit more long lasting even than the Rare Beauty, but it is stiffer and it is kind of more of like locked in place eyebrows, then I would recommend the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Freeze Gel. Not the one in the pot. This isn't 2016 anymore, even though sometimes I wish it was. But the one in the tube, I do actually really like this. I don't find that it flakes too much. It's not uncomfortable to wear, but it will plaster your brows to your face. While the brows dry, yes, that was English. While the brows dry, let's jump into eyeshadow. So like I mentioned, I'm going to go in with the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes Nature Palette. I'm just going to do kind of a soft fall glam. I used the maroon color the other day and I was in love with it. But I kind of want to dip into some of these greens today. We are approaching less than 1 month until Wicked for Good comes out. And I don't know about any of you, but I'm like really looking forward to it. So I'm actually being Elphaba for Halloween. Me and, probably 2/3 of the country, but my boyfriend and I like to do not like matchy couples costumes, but we like to do costumes that are like in the same costume family. A couple years ago, we were Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, which was awesome. I'll insert a picture. Last year, we were like just a couple of like horror film, scary movie people. So he was Michael Myers, which is his favorite slasher, and then I was Jigsaw. So this year, I'm being Elphaba and he's being the wizard. All that to say, I'm gonna lean into the greens. The satins and mattes in this palette are truly incredible. They blend so nicely. They are so smooth and they're pretty pigmented. Let's take a little bit denser of a fluffy blending brush. This one is the Refer number 13. I'm going to go into a little bit darker of the brown. Is anybody else watching Dancing with the Stars right now? Because they also just did Wicked Night, and it was so good. I love Andy, but I do think it's about time for him to go home. I hate to say that, but I really do. Let's go into this really beautiful green shimmer right here, and I'm going to pack that pretty much over like almost the entire lid. No, see, that's so pretty. I don't know why people are saying that isn't pretty. I just think you have to go into makeup with like the right expectations sometimes because and makeup is subjective. So like, you know, not everybody needs to like this palette and I'm not convinced like of that necessarily, but I do think that people are like wrongly criticizing it just in the sense that like it's okay, you don't have to like it, but like to say that it's not good or to say that the shimmers aren't good shimmers is really what bothers me because they are good. They're not Patrick Todd shimmers. They're not Pat McGrath shimmers because they're not intended to be. So I think it's okay. I'm also going to take a little bit of this kind of like olive shimmer color. And I think I'm going to do that one on kind of like a packing brush. And I'll put that one just a little bit more on the outer edge. Yeah, this is like me in a palette right here. I also think it's important to remember that like if you have any of Mario's other palettes, not the matte ones, but any of the other ethereal eyes, they're all like this. All of the shimmers are like this. These ones may be slightly drier than the ones in the Moonlight palette, but I still think they're so beautiful. Like, I'm a huge fan of them personally. I think I will take an angled brush. No, you know what? Actually, I don't want to do that. I'm going to take the darkest brown color and just push that with a small pencil brush along my lash line. Give some definition. I'm not going to do liquid liner today, even though I typically always do. You guys know me and my love of a wing. But I actually prefer drugstore and like K Beauty or C Beauty eyeliners. They typically have like thinner um, pens and applicators and things. So I actually don't think that's something that you need to pick up during the Sephora sale. Now, pencil eyeliners. Sephora has a few good ones, but again, the drugstore does them really well, so I really don't think you need to pick one up. Honestly, the fallout really isn't that bad, but I'm still going to go in with a makeup wipe and just kind of clean underneath just in case before we go in. Oh my god, you guys have to forgive me. I'm so sorry. This cold is kicking my butt. I'm going to look a little crazy for a minute, but we're going to go in with the base next before we come back and finish the eyes. You've seen this everywhere. I won't stop talking about it. It's the Natasha Denona Hy-Glam Foundation, and this is something I think is worth picking up during the sale. You do have to be careful because sometimes Natasha Denona actually will have better sales on their own website. This color is a little bit too dark for me, so I'm going to mix a little bit of the LA Colors mixing pigment in there. That is not sold at Sephora, so we'll just pretend that's not happening. But this foundation has truly just rocked my world. This is the best foundation I have ever put on my face in the history of all foundations. It wears so beautifully. It is so incredibly comfortable. The coverage is immaculate. The shade range, there's 52 shades, which is so good. Like, if you know makeup at all, you'll know that's pretty absurd. And honestly, it's just been in like semi recent years that brands have actually been doing like an appropriate number of foundation shades in their lines. Like, I think Rihanna and Fenty Beauty was really like the catalyst for change because I think it was like 2016 or so, they started coming out with like, you know, over like 40 shades or whatever, and really, really being inclusive. And that kind of became a standard. So, like, go Rihanna, you know what I mean? But just truly look at how beautiful the finish of this foundation is. And, like, you guys saw, I had quite a few little breakouts going on. And yes, you can see a little bit of the redness peeking through. I will go over them with concealer, but from just the foundation, like, look at how good the coverage is. It's so pretty. For cream bronzer slash cream contour, which this one really isn't a cream contour still. Oh, I hate when my makeup products get grubby. I have two recommendations. So this one went super viral, and I think it was Meredith Duxbury who like made it go viral, but this is the LYS No Limits Cream Bronzer Stick. And it went viral for good reason. It is so beautiful. The shades are really good. This one is in the shade Motivate. I think it's their lightest or their second to lightest. I can't honestly remember. But it's super creamy. Pigment is on point. It's not overly pigmented, but it's not underpigmented either. The one thing I will say about this cream bronzer is that it is blendable to the point that you can overblend it. So just be careful when you're blending to not take it too far down your face. Otherwise, you can lose control of it pretty quickly. But once you get comfortable with it, it's truly an incredible product. The other one is the Rare Beauty. I think it's just called bronzer stick, but I love this one. I've talked about this one so much on my channel, and it truly is just such an incredible product. Now, the drugstore has a lot of really good cream bronzer products, so you don't necessarily need to get one at the Sephora sale, but if you've been wanting to try one, if you've been wanting to try the LYS, this is a great time to do it if you're going to get a little bit of money off. LYS is another brand, though, that does have some good holiday sales themselves, so if you want to wait a little bit and see if they do a sale for Black Friday, you can. Otherwise, it's probably nice to just get a couple bucks off while you're getting everything else. This is another product, by the way. Let's talk about brushes for a second. The Mario F4 brush, I've used it so much that it's already like wearing off, but like this brush is incredible. This one and the Patrick Ta 4 Contour 3 brush, this little side right here is just truly immaculate. And again, the drugstore is one of those places that does have great brush options, but I do find that these two are unmatched. Okay. You guys know that I have a blush problem. So unfortunately, I have four. I have 4 cream blushes to recommend to you guys today to pick up during the Sephora sale. You don't need to pick up all of them. Let me be very clear about this entire video. None of this is to say that you need any of these products. This is just a roundup of things that I would recommend you pick up during the Sephora sale if you're interested in them. That being said, the first one is this Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Cream Blush. This one is in the shade Rose and Brunch. This shade range line is truly incredible. Danessa Myricks is an innovator. She's truly an artist, and she makes some of the best products, I think, on the entire market. And this cream blush is no different. I love this formula. The next one is the Nudestix. This one is the Nudies Matte and Glow Core. Honestly, I like any of these, but I do like the Glow Core ones the best. Again, the longevity on these is just incredible, and the color range is also awesome. I will say they are a little bit harder to blend out than any of the other ones that I'm recommending, but the longevity is there, and I think it's so worth it. The next one is the Rare Beauty Matte Bouncy Blush. This formula was, I believe, inspired by some K-beauty products. But again, the shades are so beautiful. The formula is amazing. It starts as a cream, finishes as kind of a powder. It really is blurring on the skin, and it does last a long time. And then the last one that you guys could probably already guess is going to be the Rhode Pocket Blushes. Now, I hate this packaging. Yeah, I hate it so much, I guess I had to throw it. But I hate this packaging, but this formula truly is good. I've seen a lot of people mention that there isn't a lot of longevity. I don't have that problem with these. I do find that they last a decent amount of time on my skin. And I find that they're so comfortable. They blend so easily. And I really, really, really enjoy them. That is the shade Tan Line. This is Toasted Teddy. Let's just make like a little fall blush combo. Makeup by Mario, other side of the F4 brush. Just so good. I love traveling with this brush because I don't need to bring 2 different brushes. I'm someone who blends my blush up into my temple. I have rounder features, so I just find that this gives me like a nice angle. I'm not going to put any across my nose today because I'm already going to ruin my makeup because of my cold. I just know it. See, I don't know. I don't know how you can't love this product. Okay, I just said I wasn't going to put it in my nose, and then I did. I'm also someone who will over apply my cream blush just a little bit because I typically go in with my concealer after I apply the cream blush. So let's soften these edges with our foundation brush, and we'll go in with concealer. I have 3 concealer recommendations. So the first one is Natasha Denona. I've talked about that one a million times. The next one is the Haus Labs. This one is also really good. It's similar to the Natasha Denona, but it is a little bit thicker. I do find that it does crease a little bit more, but it's not like a deal breaker. And then the last one is the lightest weight one, but still has really, really good like medium coverage, is the Tower 28. This concealer is so comfy and I think so underrated. So I think I'm going to do a little cocktail. I'm going to go in with a little bit of Natasha Denona for more coverage. And this is, trust me, all you need. It's crazy. Oh, you guys, work has just been crazy lately. I had like a big event going on, and so I've just been working, and then of course I got sick, but like you can't call out because this thing's happening. I'll go back in just a little bit with my blush brush just to diffuse kind of that concealer color, diffuse a little bit of any harsh lines. Are you guys doing anything fun for Halloween? This for sale starts on Halloween, and I'm pretty excited about that. I'm thinking maybe Sephora won't be like overrun with people on the first day because it's Halloween. Maybe that's wishful thinking. I'm not sure actually. Going with a little tiny bit of Tower 28. I don't want to over apply just because I don't want to get creases or too much product, but just for a little bit more brightness. Tower 28 is one of those brands at Sephora too that I love because it's so affordable. Like for a Sephora brand, Tower 28 and like LYS are probably the two most like money conscious brands there, and they have some of the most incredible products. Glad we like brighten that up a little bit. When we go to finish the eyes, we'll also brighten up the inner corner a little bit as well. I'm like a grease ball, so we definitely need to get some powder on this face. If you've watched my channel, you know it's no surprise, Makeup by Mario. Now, right now is a great time to also grab the Huda Beauty if you're a Huda Beauty fan. I have dry skin naturally. So, unless I'm doing like a really big event or whatever, the Huda Beauty can be a little too heavy on my skin. This Makeup by Mario, I just find does such an amazing job of blurring the skin without drying me out, without making me look heavy, without making me look cakey, and I just truly cannot sing its praises enough. Like, just look at the difference between the two sides of my face. So good. I have natural creases underneath my eyes, and that's really normal. And I just want people to know that that's normal and it's okay. I don't have a bronzer recommendation. This Sephora sale, I'm actually personally hoping to pick up a bronzer that I want to try that maybe can become my favorite bronzer at Sephora because I really don't have one. So I'm just going to go in with this Smashbox Halo Sculpt and Glow face palette. This one is in the shade Back to Cali. I saw a video the other day for fair skinned girls, and granted, I'm a light to fair skinned gal myself, so like I'm not exactly fair skin, but I lean more fair in the winter than I do light. And somebody on there said that fair girls shouldn't be bronzering, and I bronzering? Applying bronzer that's why everything looks too orange. And that's not my personal experience with it. I've actually found quite a few bronzers that are neutral enough that they don't pull super orange on me. Now, granted, there's a lot of bronzers out there that do pull very orange on me, but I just don't use those ones. So, if any of you guys are interested in knowing kind of like my favorite, like fair to light skin bronzers, let me know and I'll do a whole video on that actually. Powder blush at Sephora. I have two recommendations again. The first one is the Say Super Suede Radiant Blush Powder. This one is specifically in the shade Chow. I love this formula. I wasn't sure when I first tried it because I had seen quite a bit of reviews on it and they were honestly a little bit mixed. Some people said it's a little bit too glowy, that it emphasizes texture. That's not my personal experience with it. I think it has just the right amount of glow. And personally, I love it. I actually want them to come out with more shades. My second blush recommendation is the Kosas Blushes Life. Now, again, the drugstore has a lot of really good powder blushes, but I don't know. I am a high-end blush girl. Like, I just think that their formulas are typically so innovative. This is such a long-lasting formula. This one, again, has just a touch of shine to it that it kind of like brings you back to life. I'm not going to apply any highlighter because I just applied two glowy blushes. But if I could recommend a highlighter and you're interested in one at Sephora, the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt highlighters are so beautiful. I think these are severely underrated. This one is one of the duos, and it is in the shade Girl Next Door and Chic Freak. I just think this formula is so beautiful. It lays so pretty. I sometimes use it as like a blush topper as opposed to like a traditional highlighter, but this one comes with two shades. It's kind of like a peachy shade and then a more pinky shade. I like them mixed. I like them on their own. They last such a long time. They give a beautiful glow. Just love them. And then this one is technically considered a blush from Rare Beauty. This one is in the shade Joy. I don't use this as a blush. This is a blush topper. You cannot convince me otherwise. It is way too glowy to be a blush. But if you use it as a blush topper, if you use it as a highlighter, it is stunning. It is so worth it. So I would recommend picking this one up as a blush topper. We go in and finish the eyes so I stop looking crazy. I did use the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes Nature. I would also recommend the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes Moonlight. If you're more of a cool tone girly, if you have a cool undertone, then this one is also stunning for you. I think these shimmers are beautiful. I love this kind of like navy gray situation we have going on under here. Absolutely recommend. I also recommend the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude. If you're just getting into high-end makeup, this formula is incredible and this color story is so versatile. I just think that everybody should have a palette like this one. And then lastly for eyeshadows, I cannot recommend the Urban Decay Moon Dust eyeshadows more. I bought this palette last year and there's another limited edition shade that I'm going to pick up this year during the Sephora sale, but this formula truly is unmatched and they are expensive. They are a pretty penny. So if you can get them on sale, I absolutely would. Mascaras. This is another one that the drugstore does really, really well. But once again, I am a cruelty-free only shopper. And Maybelline, L'Oreal, not to try to call them out, but neither of them are cruelty-free. So I don't get to try a lot of the like best drugstore mascaras that they have. So I lean high end a lot, and then I just rely on a lot of sales and things like that to get the mascaras that I like. The first one I want to recommend is the Rare Beauty. This one just gives incredible volume. I don't find that it flakes. It's very comfortable and it really is just very pretty for like an everyday look. The next one is the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara. I love this mascara. I think it's actually the one I'm going to use today. My only complaint with this mascara is that it dries out relatively quickly. So if you're going to pick this mascara up, which I absolutely do recommend that you do, I would pick it up, but I would make sure that you're going to use it, if not every day, close to every day, because it will dry out relatively quickly. I mean, you should change your mascaras out like every 3 months anyway, just because they do expire and you don't want to mess with things around your eyes necessarily. Because, like, you know me, I'm a little loosey goosey when it comes to makeup expiration dates, but I don't really play around too much with mascara. The separation this gives is so good. It doesn't flake, it doesn't clump. You can layer it nicely. This is even my bad eye, and I just think it looks really, really pretty. And I'm going to just take a little bit of this lightest color. It's got a little bit of pearls in there, but on that just to the center corner of the eye to brighten a little bit. Setting spray. This One Size On Till Dawn setting spray is, I think it's the #1 setting spray in the world, not even just at Sephora. I might have made that up, so don't like quote me on that, but I thought I read that somewhere. But anyway, it is the #1 setting spray at Sephora and for good reason. This setting spray is magic. I mean, it is so innovative. It truly does make your makeup last such a long time. I wore this for my sister's wedding, bawling, sobbing the entire time. Not a stitch moved on my face. Like nothing was displaced on my face. It was so incredible. And I have dry skin and I still don't find this to be uncomfortable. Today, I'm just doing some light makeup though, so I'm going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury. There are so many products from Charlotte Tilbury that I really don't think are necessary. I don't think the brand is honestly all that impressive, but their setting spray is really, really good. Let's do lips. So first things first, let's talk lip liners. So I have 3 recommendations. If you want something that is like super creamy, super long lasting, then I would go with the Fenty Beauty Trace Out Lip Liner. This lip liner is incredible. It lasts forever. The shade range, again, immaculate. It's Fenty Beauty, of course it is. The next one I would recommend is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Liner. This is just a traditional pencil lip liner. It has a lot of product. Again, I love these shades. I find that they are so pretty. They're really comfortable to wear, and I find them to be relatively long-lasting. Not as long-lasting as the Fenty Beauty, but still good enough in their own right. And then lastly is the Say Lip Liner 101. I just find these so comfortable to wear. The colors are really cute. They do need more shades, but I love these. They aren't the longest lasting, but they're not long lasting either. I would kind of put them maybe somewhere on like the mid-tier range. They don't fully set down, but they're also not completely like slipping and sliding all over your face. I think today to match the eyes, we'll go in with a little bit of the Say on the outer corners, the edges. You'll notice that I do have some product on my lips. I put a little bit of powder on my lips, which is just a little tip that does help your lip liner last longer. Let's do a little bit of the Fenty Beauty, just kind of on the inside of that. And marry those two together. Now, what I'm going to do today to make my look a little bit more cohesive is just go in with a little bit of Rhode Tan Line on my lips as well. I love the way this looks. If I'm recommending an actual lipstick to you guys, it would be the Anastasia Beverly Hills Satin Lipstick. This formula is so comfy. This one is in the shade Butterscotch. I actually just picked this one up, so I'm not sure if I love it yet. It's a little orangey, but this formula is incredible. It lasts a long time. It's super, super comfortable. They have a good amount of shades, and I just find that it is so pretty. It's not slippery. It doesn't slide all over your lips, but it also lasts quite a while. It's not drying. I'm just a huge fan of it. If we're talking lip oils, then I would recommend the Ilia. This one is the Balmy Gloss Tinted Lip Oil. I love this thing. I just found it like a couple of months ago and I can't get enough of it. Again, super comfortable. The pigment on these is incredible. Like so many lip oils these days are just sheer and you really don't get a lot of color payoff, but this one is stunning. But what I'm going to go in today is my favorite lip gloss formula of all time, drugstore, high end, it doesn't matter. And this is the Lawless, forget the filler. I'm sure you've seen this everywhere. It is a pretty penny for a lip gloss, but it does everything that it says it's going to do. It's slightly tingly because it is a slight lip plumper, but really what I love about it is it fills the lines of your lips in. So it gives the appearance of fuller, softer lips without really having to do too much work. And again, they have so many cute shades. This one is in the shade Maple Sugar. I love this one for fall and winter, and I just think it's another honorable mention is the Fenty Beauty lip gloss. This is the Gloss Bomb. This one's just in the shade Universal, I think. It's just they're clear, but again, super comfy, slightly sticky, but that's what makes a lip gloss last a long time. So you don't want it to be too slippery. It's just going to slip right off. But this one is super comfortable as well. Okay, that is a full face. I do want to give a couple of honorable mentions. So in the skin tint slash tinted sunscreen category, I want to talk about the Merit, the uniform. I bought this summer and it is probably my favorite like day-to-day tinted sunscreen to wear. Super comfortable. The coverage is really, really decent for it. And I just find that I really enjoy wearing this. The next one is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. This feels like nothing is on your face. If you're a no makeup kind of person or you want something that's just really good for like throwing something on before running errands, if you're that type of person or whatever, then I absolutely recommend this. It is so beautiful. I will say though, again, Danessa Myricks is one that does have decent sales, so I would keep an eye out for this one on Black Friday as well. Another honorable mention is these Makeup by Mario Master Mattes Longwear Cream Eyeshadows. I picked up a couple shades of these and they are so beautiful. This formula is crazy. I have never used a liquid eyeshadow quite like these ones. I just I just love these. I think Makeup by Mario is just killing the game right now, honestly. And then my last honorable mention is the Urban Decay Naked Eyeshadow Stick in the shade Peach Bum. I don't know about the other shades because I haven't personally tried them, but this shade is just so beautiful. They give a really, really good amount of sparkle. They set down a decent amount so they're not kind of going all over your face. They don't crease in the lids, and I think they're great. Pat McGrath Mothership palettes. These are so beautiful. They are $128. So they are a crazy amount of money, but it's for good reason. Plus, this packaging is so luxe. What I will say is Pat McGrath usually does a Black Friday sale. They'll do it in a tiered aspect though. So it's like 20% off if you spend this much, 25 if you spend this one, whatever. So if you plan to pick up and try a couple of Pat McGrath things, I would maybe hold out till then. But if you don't and you are a Rouge, then 20% off one of these is actually a really good steal. Lastly, for lashes, the Lily lashes, any of Lily lashes are amazing, but the no glue needed body heat activated self-adhesive ones are so good. They really do last a long time. The band on these is a little bit thicker just because there is no like traditional glue. So it's all in the band of it itself, but they're very comfortable. I have never had an issue with them sliding off. I think I've worn these ones specifically like 5 or 6 times already and had zero issues with them. So I totally recommend picking these ones up. I think that's it. I think that is everything that I would recommend for you to look at during the Sephora sale. I'm sure there's 100 others. I'm sure you're going to be inundated with videos like these for the next week or two. And what I will just remind you is that the Sephora sale is an awesome opportunity to try new products and get them at a little bit of a discount if you're interested in getting a bunch of different products from a bunch of different brands at the same time. You don't need all of these products. You don't need to try all of these, but if you're interested in any of these products that I mentioned, then I absolutely recommend picking these ones up. Otherwise, just wait, just see, kind of see what you like and go from there. And that is all. So thank you guys so much for being here. I really, really appreciate every single one of you. If you guys like videos like this, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. It really helps me out. And I hope to see you guys again in the next one.